Hello, hello. Good evening. Once again. Happy Tuesday night. And welcome back to the stream. I'm going to get a very important audio check here. Check. Hello, hello, hello. Audio check here. I think it sounds okay, right? I just wanted to be sure because I remember the last time I played one of these, the audio was really imbalanced and the game was too loud and you couldn't hear me, which is a real bummer when most of the game is reading. I remember that specifically about the last one. I think this time is good. I think we're better this time, but I'm still gonna ask for people's opinion as they filter in. Hopefully. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do another audio check right now. Why not? Hello? Ask for people's opinion. Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. Okay. Because I also want to make sure the reverse isn't true and I didn't overcompensate and then the game's way too quiet. Anyway, what an intro. Welcome back to the stream. Happy Tuesday. How are you? How's your week so far? Hope it's pretty good. Mine's alright. Work's kicking my butt a little bit. But we're going to have a fun little one-off stream this evening. It's true, you may have noticed. You might have wondered. Probably not, but it's true. I'm not playing WrestleQuest tonight. I had posted it on all the places I post things, but I suppose for posterity I'll say as much here too. I am done streaming WrestleQuest. Peace and love, peace and love. No more WrestleQuest streams. All WrestleQuest streams will be sent back. Sorry to say it. As you know, I'm typically in the habit... What's going on, Dilly Tots? Hey, let me know if the audio's cool. Let me know if the game's not too loud. Because I remember the audio was too loud when I played Mothmen last year. And I didn't find out until after I reviewed the VOD. Yeah, you know, I'm in the habit typically finishing what I start on here, but WrestleQuest will have the unfortunate distinction of being the first long play game that I don't finish on this channel. I wouldn't have guessed that was going to be the one, but you know, it just wasn't clicking for me. And if you saw the last stream, which I know Dilly Tots did, you would know I just wasn't having fun with it, and it was starting to actively frustrate me. And then I found shortly after that stream that I was not even halfway done with the game. I had been pressing on under the mistaken belief that I was nearly done with the game. You might remember me saying multiple times, I don't feel like I'm almost done with the game, but apparently according to this walkthrough I am. Well, I should have listened to that instinct because the walkthrough I was looking at was unfinished and I had roughly 20 more hours left of that game and I just can't force myself through something I'm not enjoying for that long of a time. Sunken cost be damned. So, sadly, WrestleQuest going up on the unfinished shelf. A new concept for our channel. It's a shame. I was enjoying it at first. I was excited for it. You might even remember I'd said I had been waiting for somebody to make a game like that for a long time. And either it was just a flawed idea, or perhaps that just wasn't the execution I was looking for. I don't know. I wouldn't even go as far as to say it was a bad game. It just was not clicking for me in a way that made me want to play all of it. So, no more WrestleQuest. We've moved a couple things around on the stream schedule for the month, which is allowing me to play this, which I've been meaning to get to for a long time. I'll go into what exactly this is shortly here. But just to give kind of an itinerary for the next couple of weeks, for the rest of June is what we're getting into since WrestleQuest is no longer a part of the stream schedule. R.I.P. to the Muchacho Man. You know, that makes me almost sad to say now. I like the Muchacho Man. I'll miss him and the Luchador, but that's about it. So we got Varney Lake tonight. Thursday, Fortnite stream with Matt, Connor, and Colin. Looking forward to that. Sunday, I'll be back to Dreams this week. I know there's at least one person who will be very excited for me to see me playing Dreams again. Apparently. And then next week, starting on Tuesday, I will finally be starting RoboCop. And I know there's one person who's very excited to see me play RoboCop, and he's in the chat right now. Love you, Dilly Tots. We won't miss the frustration. No, we won't. I hate to be that guy. That's not the energy I like to have on the stream. You know, I love streaming. I look forward to it every single week. And I don't do it nearly enough to play 20 hours of a game that I'm not really enjoying. So, on to better and happier times, I hope. Tonight we're playing Varney Lake. This is a sequel to a game I played last year called Mothmen 1966, which is, as you can see, a very retro-styled visual novel. Maybe it's not. The developer calls these pixel pulps. I feel like there's a little bit more interactivity than is typical of a visual novel, but I don't really play visual novels, so I could be wrong on that. Maybe there is more engagement in a visual novel than I'm assuming. But we played Mothmen 1966 last year. It was very wacky and fun. I remember enjoying it. This by the same developers. It's an unrelated story, except in that I think one of the central characters from Mothmen is back in this. Otherwise, you don't need to know anything about Mothmen 1966 to enjoy this. But if you're curious, the full VOD's up on our YouTube. And I liked it. Also, these games are available, I think, on like all platforms, which is cool. So we're going to play this tonight. This should be a one-off. I think it's about roughly 2 hours. So we should start and finish this evening. That's what we did with Mothmen. And I'm excited for it. It has a very kind of summery style to it, from what I understand. It takes place during the summer. And it's June. And it's hot out. And it's raining. And it's thundering outside. I don't know if the same is true for you. But I thought, wow, a hot summer night, dark and stormy. And here we have this like horror vampire summer visual novel that I've had sitting around for months and months, waiting for the right time to play. So I feel like this is the right time. So off we go to Varney Lake. How you doing, Dilly Dad? Hey, what are you streaming tomorrow? I know you were talking about putting Scald upon the unfinished shelf, at least as far as your stream was concerned. It sounded like you're probably going to play it off stream. I don't think I would do the same for WrestleQuest, at least not anytime soon. Maybe I would eventually, but not anytime soon. Are you going to switch over to Fallout 4? I know that was on the possible agenda. Selfishly, I got to say, I think I would really enjoy watching you play Fallout. So I hope so. Alright, let's get into this. No face camera, you may have noticed. I just think it's better for something like this. I know I didn't have it on last time either. Nothing's wrong with my face cam. Nothing's wrong with my face. Except the ordinary stuff. I just feel like for something like this, I remember last time feeling like my face camera was kind of intrusive and I couldn't find a good place to put it. And like these kind of used all parts of the screen. So no face cam tonight. Just my sultry tones. Hey, how you doing? I got my cup of tea here because I expect we'll be doing voices. And if WrestleQuest taught me anything is you gotta have tea when you're doing voices. This is Jimmy. And it's summer of 1954, which means this is before Mothmen 1966, logically. I'm going to press anything. Truth or dare? The question takes you by surprise. I don't know why you ask him. That's what he sounds like, obviously. It's like that buzzkill kid from the Magic School Bus who's always like, I don't want to go on the Magic School Bus. Like, are you kidding me? His name's Doug. He always makes the same choice. Oh, man. What do you think? Dare or truth? I guess no matter what we pick, it's the same thing we always do. You know what? Jimmy's kind of bold, I feel. He's got a lot of gusto. We're going to go for the dare, which is always the scarier option. Playing Scald tomorrow. Okay. I'm kind of excited to hear that you're sticking with it. Still waiting on Fallout 4 key for some reason. Gotcha. Well, I would look forward to watching you play anything. And I know you're enjoying Scald, so. Big dare. Dare. What did I tell you, huh? As hard as it is to admit, Doug is right. Dare always was the easy option for you. Christine bites her lip. Let's see. I know. You're going to try Doug's new game. Huh? Wouldn't you rather make me eat a beetle? Or do a headstand on an ant nest? What are you, some sort of sick fuck, Jimmy? Jesus. Yeah, you two laugh. You'll need me later to learn new tricks. Christine taps you on the shoulder. You look at her, and she smiles at you. You can't think of anything to say. You feel like every step you don't open your mouth is another missed opportunity. Again, yeah, let me know how the audio is. I remember with Mothmen last year, when I would be reading the text and it would be doing the noise was too loud and you couldn't really hear me reading it that well. So let me know if that's a problem here tonight and we'll try to fix that. And you know that when you go to sleep and run the conversation in your head, 1,000 things you could have said to her will come to you. Sound fine? Beautiful. Thank you. Fargo. Get a Fargo shirt in the 50s? Maybe there's other things called Fargo. I don't know. You think you hear someone whistling. Are you imagining things now? Oh, is Fargo like does Fargo the movie take place in a town called Fargo? That would maybe explain how he has a shirt that says Fargo. I don't know. I don't remember. What am I, like a movie guy? I don't know what you're talking about. You're still bothered about yesterday. Why didn't you wait for Doug and Christine to arrive? What did you want to prove? Jimmy. You try to think of something else. Like your mom says, what's done is done. You clear your throat. Dear listeners. Yeah, fuck yeah. Don't say fuck, Doug. Are you kidding me? We formally kick off a new summer in Varney Lake. Doug claps his hands and Christine wolf whistles. Christine is a year and 10 months older. But when you do the radio host voice, you don't feel the age gap as much. She's Doug's cousin, and this is the 4th summer you've spent together. She lives with just her mom. Her dad died in the Korean War. Doug is a few months younger than you. He sucks. He's still 12, but turns 13 in a few weeks. He never knew his father, and his mother is Christine's aunt. Christine, Doug, and you are all only children. And what had started as a joke ended up formalizing into the idea of a club. So make yourselves comfortable. You pause and point to Doug and Christine. The all-new adventures of the Only Child Club are about to begin. The club had been Doug's idea. But it was Christine who suggested trying to raise the money to buy the old Varney Lake drive-in theater. Now that idea rules. I don't know where you're going to get all that money, but I love the idea of buying a drive-in theater. I love drive-in theaters. If you could find one, highly recommend it. Different experience, to be sure. If you were like really looking forward to a new movie and you wanted to watch it in like the best condition imaginable, I wouldn't say like drive-in is that, but it has a lot of its own advantages to it. I miss it. It's been a long time since we've been in a drive-in. I would love to do that again. They say you can see strange lights at night. Christine makes a noise with her mouth. Who say? Doug doesn't answer. It wouldn't be the headlights of ghost cars, would it? You laugh. Doug takes a deep breath and shakes his head from side to side. People died in that fire. Real people. Can't you see his face, Jimmy? He's fucking with you. Doug laughs and makes some faces at you. You let out a laugh and threaten to punch him in the stomach. Yeah, punch him. You get to the old sycamore tree and try to erase the memory of that time when you chickened out of kissing Christine. Jimmy! Are you serious? Jimmy, the dare. It had all started 2 summers ago. Doug had shown you a book he was obsessed with. He wouldn't tell you where he'd found it. The book provided lots of valuable information on games played with cards, matchsticks, dice. What if I gave him the raid macho win? That tin can, we keep the money. I dropped the game, but I kept that voice. That tin can we keep the money in isn't going to be big enough, right? Doug opens his backpack, takes out a deck of cards, and hands it to you. In the last few years, you three had raised enough money to get your hopes up. Remember what we promised? Christine tucks her hair behind her ear. Before the youngest member of the club turns 18, Doug beats his chest. That would be me. We'll buy the drive-in. The solitaire game I invented is going to make us so much money. I do remember, these guys like this developer. They like solitaire. I remember that was a component of Mothmen. And you might remember at the time I had never played solitaire and didn't know how. I think I kind of learned while playing Mothmen, and I have since definitely forgotten how to play solitaire. I was never a solitaire kid. I was never a play solitaire and study hall kind of guy, to be honest with you. And if I was playing a game on my Windows PC, it was definitely Cosmic Pinball. Are you fucking kidding me? So let's see. I don't know how much they're going to want me to play solitaire in this. It's called Solitaire 10. I guess it's a different game, so they're going to tell me how. You'll see why. We'll see why. That's fine. Here we go. I think this developer also put out like just an actual solitaire game, but I forget what it was called. It was like some sort of like dark, like occult solitaire game. I don't think that got a PlayStation release, so I don't think I have access to that. I'm pretty sure it's free. These guys love solitaire. Interesting. The idea is to start from the card you turn over and try to add cards to get 10. How's that? I almost feel silly to ask. Does everything look okay? Bitrate looks fine on Twitch, but Inspector has it like super low, and I can't imagine bitrate would really matter too much on this game. Like, I don't know what it would look like if the stream looked poor, but let me know. I mean, I don't know what I do about it at this point, but it's just like really, it's like steady, but it's really low, but it's stable. Okay, let's see. 10, but isn't the jack worth 11? Yes, the jack 11. I gotta pay attention. They're explaining how to do whatever I'm about to do. Yes, the jack 11, the queen 12, and the king 13. So, Doug pauses before revealing the key to his creation. Depending on the color of the card you turn over, cards you choose from the board will either add or subtract to the total. Is Doug just inventing solitaire? I don't know. This could be exactly the same. Okay, so depending on the color of the card you turn over, cards you choose from the board will either add or subtract to the total. Okay. And we want to get to 10? Try as you might, you find it hard to follow Doug's instructions. Tell me about it, Jimmy. Doug seems to realize this and signals you to wait. If the first card is red, red cards will add to the total, and black cards will subtract. And if it's black, black cards will be the ones that add, and red cards will be the ones that subtract. And what happens if you can't reach 10? You turn over a new card and continue with that one. Hope you like this voice. It's going to be, you're going to hear it for the rest of the game. Christine remained silent. She seems to be about to say something, but in the end, she doesn't. And get this. Doug can't hide his excitement. If you reach 10 using all the 10 cards available, you shout Super 10 and you win outright. Doug taps you on the shoulder. You make a Super 10 and I give you a dare. Well, just get started. Wait, what? That's my prize? I get Super 10 and then you get to tell me to do something? Or I get to dare you, Doug. If you run out of cards to turn over and can't make 10, we count the cards in the pot and that's your final score. Okay, select a card. So it's black. Is that the idea? Because the one down below... Oh, what the hell? I gotta... Okay, move cursor to left, right. So, black will add... because he has black down there, the 9, right? And so this would make it 10. I don't know if I want to play that so soon. It might make more sense to put 10 on it and then subtract to it, right? Maybe I'm overthinking it, Doug. I don't know. Let's try it out. Or no, this okay, so we're at 19, and so now we can keep going. Right? So we want to have more cards and then end at 10. So we're at 19. We can put oh, okay. We could put 4 and no, that won't work. We could put. Do we want to pick as many cards as possible? Is that the idea? I don't know. We can make it 20. We can make it 20 and then take away 4, 6. Yeah, we could subtract 11. I'm going to try. I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to do, but I'm going to try. Here you go. Or it's 32. How is it 32? Wait, I think I've misunderstood something. I just noticed the number on the left. Hold on. Let's see what happens if we select another card. Okay. So my understanding is now it would be at 20. Oh, I think it's at 28. Okay. I think I misunderstood something, Doug. All right. Well, we'll keep going then. Now it's at 20. 9. Oh, I don't understand. I think I misunderstood. Oh, I see what I missed. Okay. You know what? Here you go. Math is never your thing, Jimmy. I'm sorry, I misunderstood something. I think I misunderstood how much the sweet cards count for. I was thinking they only counted for 1. Well, there's nothing we can do now. I can undo? Undo all? Oh. Okay. So sorry about that. All right, we want it to be 10? Well, we could just make it 10. No, we can't, because the sweet cards... So the sweet cards count for 10? Did he explain that? All right, so he had 9. So let's do what we were doing before. This, and then there, and turn. Okay, now it's red. So red adds and black subtracts, yeah? So we want... So do the sweet cards count for 10? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, none of the red ones are. Okay, so we want it to be 10. We can... $11. And then... No, I think I miscalculated. Undo. Let's move. All right, we're at... Doug, I just want to get this over with. I just want to move on to where the vampire shows up, Doug. Hope you understand. We are at 5. We want to make it... Because I guess we want to get to 20 again and then subtract to make it 10, yeah? So 15. No, let's not do that. Let's will get us to 9. Now let's do... Well, let me just see. If I do 17... And then... Yeah, the sweet cards are 10. Okay. So let's make it... Do you like this gameplay? Is this riveting for you? Is this enthralling? Let's make it... Okay, I think I see it. I think I see... No, oh, god damn it. I see what I did. Well, it's so kind of you to let me undo cards. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Ready? Lock it in. Okay, here we go. Wait, what? I thought these... What? Oh, he explained to the king. Oh, there was something with the king and the queen. Right. Hold on. Yeah, one was 11, like 12 and 13. He totally did tell me this. Okay. Mother trucker. Okay, we're at 13. How do I just like hit Doug and then continue with the story here? Okay. Well, we could also go for a negative. All right, hold on. So hold on. If we... That makes it -8. Yeah. No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on. That doesn't make sense. Oh, wait, hold on. No, it could. Hold on. Hold on. Yep, here it goes. Ready? All right. I hate this game, Doug. I won't play this game anymore. How do I make it stop? How many times do I have to do this before game's over? All right, we're at 7. Black adds, red subtracts. Yeah? Okay. So we could add... Let's see. I gotta remember. So I think Jack is 11, Queen is 12, and King is 13, maybe? Okay, so we have 7. We could bring it down to -1. Okay, hold on. No, that doesn't work. Although, hold on. No, that doesn't work. I keep mixing up what adds and what doesn't. No, this would work. I think. Yes! End turn. How do we make it stop? Is this just regular solitaire? I don't know. Did Doug invent solitaire? How do I stop playing this? If I just end turn. Turn over a new card? Exit. Oh, here we go. Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god, thank you. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I could have kept playing infinitely or if there was like a certain point in time where he would have said, okay, you win. Well, I can't focus on a game. Is it any good? Cousin. Now what? Hey, cousin. Christine seems to enjoy the situation. There's an easy way to make a Super 10. Oh, really, Christine? Tell me all about it. You got a fucking Jimmy Neutron brain over here. No. How? I already forget how to make Super 10. Is that you use all the cards and to get the right order to make it 10? I forget. I am Jimmy, basically. Christine starts to explain something, but you stop paying attention. Oh my. You hear a whistling sound that makes your gut clench. You see Brandon in the distance and your heart starts to race. Not Brandon. Oh, not Brandon. Let's not go, Brandon. Am I right? They're looking for you. Guys, I fucked up. Doug and Christine suddenly shut up. What do you mean you fucked up? Don't say that word, Doug. You're too young. Jimmy. You point to a spot on the horizon and your voice cracks. It's just that Brandon... You pause and try to sound more confident. Yesterday we played dice and I fleeced him. Christine taps you on the shoulder, and Doug throws his head in his hands. Fucking hell! They're gonna kill us! Shh, come on, come over here. And get down. Christine is almost 2 years older than you. But there are times when you feel even younger next to her. You walk non-stop for more than half an hour. If Brandon doesn't kill us, the heat will. Oh my god, complaining Carly over here. You look at Doug. The cream he uses is invisible. I beg your pardon? But it's got a strong smell. You've gotten used to it, but it still hits your nostrils from time to time. What kind of cream? What are you talking about? Is it true what his mother says? Doug is the creamiest boy in town. I'm so sorry I said that. I'm so sorry. Edit that out, thanks. Doug is the only boy you know who's allergic to the sun. I can't believe you said that on stream about Doug. I can't believe you didn't wait for us yesterday. I'm going to try to explain. Brandon wanted a rematch. I didn't think he'd figure out Doug's trick. You thought... That's your problem. You think too much. You think too much. You keep quiet and look straight ahead. You can't bring yourself to hold Christine's gaze. Sorry to interrupt you, but we've reached the river. Little River is one of the main tributaries of Varney Lake. Is it safe? That's Chuck's. You take a deep breath and cross the old bridge at full speed. Holy shit. The fastest boy in town. The distance makes you feel better. Because even though you like her, Christine intimidates you. I know how that is, Jimmy. Come on, Doug. Don't be a pussy. Don't talk like that, Jimmy. Doug looks at Christine and Christine points to the bridge. Your turn. Doug starts to cross. I bet he falls in. Doug's such a klutz. A board moves and he lets out a scream. Ah! Christine laughs. It's beautiful, but it makes you feel hollow. And that hollowness reminds you that Christine's been dating a boy from her hometown for several years. No! And that when the summer is over, she'll be back with him. God damn it. Over there, see? Yes, over there, see? Yes. What is it? No freaking idea. Should we go see? Christine nods and Doug shrugs. You've never been to this part of Varney Lake before. How far have we walked already? What, are you tired? You want a juice box? Not far enough yet. Brandon is... Christine seems to be looking for the right word. Bitter. A son of a bitch, you think? You walk faster to try to keep some thoughts out of your head. Christine follows close behind you and Doug. Wow. A new headquarters for the club? Gets my vote. Is it abandoned? Let's go and see. You all run to the entrance of the mill with a surprising energy. Although the door is open, the stench of confinement is intense. There's a guy in there! Oh, hell. Is that Dr. Michael Morbius in there? What's going on, Matt? Oh no, a horror 16-bit. What's going on? You don't like a little retro? I don't think you could call this 16-bit. This is like, when I look at this, I think of like Microsoft DOS. I think. Which I guess would be 8-bit? No? The sun. I know what you mean. I'm just being pedantic. For a few seconds, no one says anything. Doug seems to remember something and starts going through his backpack. My mom bought this allergy cream for me. Oh my god, Doug, stop talking about the cream. The sun. Something about the man's desperation moves you. You grab Doug's hand and shake your head. You think of your grandfather. The day he died, you had read him a letter from your grandmother. I remember there was like a lot of weird grandparent stuff in Mothmen. When you finished and you thought he had fallen asleep, you got up carefully and walked to the door. But he was not asleep. How we doing, Matt? Thanks for tuning in. Did you see I got a sick-ass win on Fortnite today? I jumped a car off a mountain and hit the last player as he was ziplining up the mountain. It was sick. I wish I recorded it. Almost too cool to believe. But I assure you it happened. I'm ready. I'm fucking locked in. I'm ready for Thursday, baby. We are gonna rock. He was not asleep. Whispering, he asked you to close all the curtains. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Half an hour later, you found him dead in his bed. And you could swear he was smiling. He doesn't need any cream, Doug. Well, speak for yourself, Chippy. He just wants a little darkness. The sun is coming in through 2 different windows. One high up, the other full of broken glass. Let's search the rubble first. Grab blanket. You lift the blanket and shake it a little. Move old plow. Lean it against the high window. You leave the blanket on the floor. You ask Doug and Christine for help and you lift the old plow. You bring it up to the wall and prop it up, trying to block the light coming through the high window. Light is still coming in. Alright, do that one. I don't know how big it is, Jimmy. I like Jimmy's. There's 3 pictures of Jimmy on the screen, but I best like the little like Bart Simpson one like next to his name. The lowest detail one with blue hair. That's my favorite Jimmy on the screen right now. Let's do better. You nod and you all move the plow again. Watch out for the glass. You move it closer to the window and gently rest it to block the light coming in from outside. Excellent. Oh no. We could probably use the blanket on the other... No, we can't. Grab the long reed. At a corner of the mill, you find some long reeds. Hit him with them. Whack him. See if he has any money. You grab one. Cover the windows. Use reed and blanket. Oh, MacGyver Jimbo over here. Something occurs to you. It's the same technique your mom uses to remove cobwebs from high ceilings. Only she uses a broom and an old rag. You put the blanket over the reed and lean the reed against the wall. You try to block the light coming through the window without success. Oh, Jimmy. You need another reed to stretch the blanket and cover more surface area. Okay. Grab another reed. You grab another reed. Just grab them all, Jimmy. Cover the windows. You lean the second reed against the wall and tuck it under the blanket. Moving the 2 reeds carefully, you stretch the blanket to block all the light coming through the high window. Now nobody will be able to see inside when we hit him with sticks. You put that cream away, Doug. Doug's canteen bounces off one of the walls and lands on the rubble with a thud. You're not even sure you saw the old man lashing out. And you wonder if your brain isn't filling in the blanks. You help the old man up. Who is he? Who is he? And why is he dressed like that? You turn your head towards the door. Ah. The old man raises his hand, his gaze fixed upon the animal. Deer powers, activate. Wow, this guy can talk to deers. None of you move a muscle. You think of the time Taylor said deers is a plural noun and not deer, the correct way to pluralize deer. You think of Brandon laughing about how he and his brothers used to kill rabbits. You have to point the flashlight at them. They freeze like idiots. You approach slowly and a good hit does the rest. But what followed was no hit at all. Oh my God! Oh! Ah! The body of the deer lay limp at the feet of the vampire. Vampire. It's noon. And the same sun you blocked from the old mill shines with all its intensity over Varney Lake. The end. Lou, here he is. Oh, interesting. We have dueling timelines here. Okay, so this is, you might remember, if you remember anything about Mothmen 1966, Lou was one of the primary characters in it. So Lou is back, and this part is after Mothmen 1966. Nice. Interesting. I didn't know that. I don't remember what, I can't possibly say I remember what voice I gave Lou, but maybe it was something like this. I can only imagine the fear you must have felt. Oh, Jimmy's all grown up! Oh, he was telling Lou the story. Okay. Jimmy remains silent, staring at some point behind your head. After his detailed account about that first encounter with the vampire, he seems somewhat changed. But you can't really say how. You look towards the door. Will she come as she promised? Jimmy sighs and looks down. What's he thinking about? Maybe that one, maybe two green pixels on his chin? Don't look at it, Lou. He's very self-conscious. You're going to embarrass him. He doesn't know about it, but you got your hands on the reports about his involvement in the Vietnam War through an acquaintance? Acquaintance. Would you include any of that in your new book? Ask again if they were afraid. Huh? You repeat the question one more time. No, not afraid. I don't really know. We were kids. You wait for him to say something else, but he seems lost in thought again. Another coffee? Jimmy shakes his head and you don't insist. You think of your editor, of the words he said to you the last time you met. Your career wouldn't survive another failure. Jimmy settles back in his chair. That's right, Lou's a journalist, isn't he? You want to know what I'm afraid of, Lou? Did you ever forget a name? The director of a movie? Not me. Never. I never did that. Or the author of a book? When something like that happens to you, the mind becomes obsessed. It goes into a loop, trying to remember that name even when you don't care anymore. The answer can appear at any moment. While you're watching TV, while you're washing the dishes. That's stubbornness. That freedom of your mind to work behind the scenes. As if it were an independent entity. What's the limit, Lou? Does it have an end? You remain silent, feeling how the distance between you and Jimmy grows with each passing second. For you, these questions were never rhetorical. And you know that there are not many people prepared to listen to the answers. There it is. After talking on the phone, you had your doubts. Is it her? But in the end, she came. You had chosen this table so that Jimmy was sitting with his back to the door. You needed a surprise effect. Jimmy? These old kids. These old flames, huh? Christine? Time seems to stand still and neither of them moves. How long has it been? 27 years. Wow. You notice the way Jimmy seems to stumble over his words. You know that love is nothing more than an adaptive trick to perpetuate the species. Okay, Lou. Why don't you go post about it on Reddit? Aye. But as with any other magic trick, knowing there's a trick is not enough to escape its effects. Come. Let's sit at the table. Jimmy. I can't believe it. Jimmy smiles and you look away. There's something about the gesture that makes you uncomfortable. As if the muscles in his face have forgotten what a smile looks like. I'm a little late, I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. We've just started. You tell Christine what you were talking about with Jimmy. That day when you found a fucking vampire? In the summer of 1954 when you met the vampire. Did you tell him about Doug? My cousin? His weird cream? Jimmy nods and starts drumming his fingers on the table. Why is he drumming his fingers on the table? Although you assume it's a nervous gesture, Jimmy's fingers seem to be asking something of Christine. That summer was... I'm sorry. I thought I was ready. You lean forward and take a deep breath. You know you can't miss this opportunity. You tell them what you can about your new book. At first you find it hard to articulate some ideas. You're not selling a project to a publisher. Gradually, you find your tone, and you are aware of the effect your words have on both Jimmy and Christine. You even talk about memory as a way of purging the present, at a point when you are feeling particularly poetical. But you know that memory can be that. And much more. You don't feel comfortable. Why are you doing all this? Is what your editor thinks really so important? The readers? Anyway, you had managed to spur a change. And Christine seemed determined to talk. You have to understand that we were kids. Kids. You find it interesting that Christine uses the same arguments as Jimmy. That the summer was just beginning. Wow, I miss that feeling. The days seemed to go on forever. And we could do anything. Look out for the fucking Spectre in the background there, reading his newspaper, by the way. Christine! Hey there, girlie. What do you think the odds are? You like this feeling. Almost as if you were floating. And everything weighed a little less. You needed this. And you know your mom did too. Okay. Look at her and Jimmy's faces. They're just like, ooh. There's like Shy Guy faces on. I'd say the same odds as shuffling a deck of cards and getting an order that's already been dealt. In the history of all mankind. Wait a minute. How? I read somewhere that if you shuffle a deck... oh my god, this kid and his fucking cards. Wizards of the Coast over here. If you shuffle a deck of 52 cards well, if you shuffle it very well, 4 or 5 times, like this, even though you're not looking at him, you can imagine Doug shuffling an invisible deck of cards. The odds of getting a card order someone already got are infinitely small. There's a slight breeze. You try to imagine what could be the possible configuration for you to see it. How small? It was like 1 in, I don't know, a huge number. I think it had like 67 zeros. Wow. Does a number that big even have a name? You can't help but smile. Jimmy is nothing like your boyfriend. Ugh, we hate him. Your boyfriend sucks. He's taller, bigger, more self-confident. I think we're going to see it. Neither one of them says anything. But you know they're waiting for you to go on. Doug. Your little cousin, who has always idolized and feared you in equal measure. Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. Doug's friend who is now your friend too. And you always knew he liked you. Mark my words. This summer, we're going to see Mount Rushmore in the sky. I don't know, cousin. 67 is a lot of zeros. The math is not important. It's enough that we've added it to the list. Doug pulls your journal out of the backpack and hands it to you. And you all read the summer bucket list with veneration. Get $100. This was one of the club's oldest goals. In the 50s, that's like $100,000 now. Year after year, you aim to raise $100 to someday be able to buy the drive-in theater. That might be how much it cost back then. I don't know. $100 and a handshake. Last year, he would come close. And Jimmy thought all you needed was just a little more ruthlessness. Yeah, we need to hit people with sticks and take their money. Catch an albino tarpon. Martin, Felix's father, was the only one who had ever caught one. Such a feat had earned him his picture on the wall of the fisherman's bar. There was a time when everyone wanted to catch another albino tarpon. But time went by and people started to distrust Martin's story. And the very existence of the albino tarpon. See Mount Rushmore in the clouds. Even though you understand the boys' doubts, you know they're looking at the problem in the wrong way. Finding shapes in the clouds speaks more about the people looking for them than the shapes themselves. The problem is to get the three of you to agree on what you're seeing. And when that moment comes, when all three of you agree that you're seeing the same thing, you will have reached the most precious moment of your friendship. Look at the map. It's the map. You look at the locations you've marked on the map. Up Little River. Felix had told you that before he was born, his parents had had a daughter. A daughter who would now be like you if it weren't for a strange disease that had caused her death at a very young age. Jesus. Maybe that's why Martin talked to you more than the rest. And maybe that's why he had told you about the place where you should start looking for the albino tarpon. Tarpon? We're locked in? Hell yeah. Thanks, Dilly. Appreciate you, baby. Let's look at Eagle Hill. Eagle Hill is located southwest from the lake. The perfect place to feel close to the sky and find different shapes in the clouds. Eagle Hill was one of the spots that couples, older kids, used to meet up at night. Until the winter Barbara disappeared. Barbara lived year-round at Varney Lake. Eagle Hill was the last place she'd been seen alive. And with Brandon, no less. After ruling out Brandon as a suspect, the police believed that Barbara had run away from Varney Lake. Rumor around town had it that she didn't get along with her parents at all. The general market is almost as old as the first settlement in Varney Lake. You could buy almost anything. From bread or butter to batteries or cigarettes. Cigarettes in the 50s were good for you even, too. That'd be great. But even more important, the general market is surrounded by a concrete playground where the kids from Varney Lake hang out a lot. And that playground is the ideal place to play Doug's games. Shouldn't we mark the area the vampire told us about? Doug's right. As we know, just probably follow the yellow paint around Varney Lake. That'll get you to the spot the vampire told you about. The old cobblestone road stretches for miles. No one knows when it was built. Or by whom. The vampire had told you to follow it to the end. And to wait until it was 7 o'clock in the evening. Jimmy looks at Doug. I told my mom I'm sleeping at your house tonight. I told mine I'm sleeping at yours. Doug and Jimmy laugh heartily. Their mothers are at each other's throats and not talking. It's the perfect alibi. What about you? Neither of them asks you anything. You know they do it out of respect. Your mom is usually so drunk at night that you don't have to make up an excuse to go out. Classic. The classic scheme. You take a deep breath and get up. Summer is just beginning. And Varney Lake seems full of possibilities. Oh my god. Can we do all these things? Can we only do one of these things? I want to catch that albino tarpon. How many fish does the old geezer want? You'd like to say something, but you choose to keep quiet. Old geezer? Martin had lost his daughter. Christine? 9. Jimmy lets out a whistle. If we bring him 9 fish, will he tell us where to catch the albino tarpon? You nod. But how are we going to catch so many fish? Shut up, Doug. Last time it was a disaster. Doug's right. But what he doesn't take into account is that Martin gave you some tricks he learned over a lifetime of fishing. Fish. Lift rod. Oh yeah, baby, you know it. Fishing minigame. So I mean, I feel like these are like a cut above the average visual novel. Again, I don't play visual novels, so I might be really mistaken, but they always add a little fun interactivity to these things. You try to remember his words. Don't laugh. But Martin says that to fish, we have to open our senses. Do you know what synesthesia is? Don't let me say it again. Synesthesia, there, I was better, is the ability to perceive something with a different sense than the one stimulated. Seeing a color when you hear a musical note, for example. Martin says that to be a good fisherman, you have to develop synesthesia. When you catch something and try to pull it out of the water, there's going to be resistance. The fish is going to try to get loose. And what you have to do is imagine those movements in a specific color. Green for a weak movement, yellow for a normal one, and red for a sudden one. God, I have to remember this. Green for a weak movement, yellow for normal, and red for sudden. As long as we respond with movements that compensate for the fish's attempts to escape, we're going to tire it out, and we're going to be able to get it out of the water. Jimmy looks confused. After a few seconds, Doug starts laughing. And you say my games are complicated. You don't feel like arguing with your cousin. This is not a game. Fishing is an activity. And as with any activity, what really matters is to dedicate the necessary time to learn all its secrets. Lift rod. Oh, okay, never mind. Here we go. All right, so we have green. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? I'm scared. Am I hitting it too? You lost it. I got a trophy. Freedom. Lose a catch. No, I don't want it to. I want to do it. Ah. Even though you know that you have to wait for a bite before you lift the rod, you can't always control your eagerness. Keep fishing. Okay, show me the... Okay. Here we go. Where's the green thing? Am I supposed to match it? Like, boom, get it again? You lost it. I don't understand this. Fish. Lift rod. Ag. Okay. Lift rod. What? Okay, we're waiting for something. Okay, keep fishing. I'm waiting. Any day now. Do I have to do it when I see a little splash? Okay. Splash. Ah, okay. Now I have this. When do I stop it? There's nothing else to do. Okay. Lift the rod. And then here? Is this the idea? I don't know if I'm doing this right. And then do it here? Nope, don't understand. What do I do? What do I do? Okay. 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 Great. What? What? I don't understand. Green. No, that's red now. Do I want... Is he stacking it? Okay. Oh, it says... Get red, right? Huh? Okay, hold on. Now it's going down. Green. Okay, no. No, I don't get it. You lost it. I don't really get this. Lift rod. Okay. So to hook it, we have to... Okay, that's that. So next up, we want to make it green? Okay. And then red? I don't... What? I'm not... Nothing's happening. Green. Green. Okay. Green. Green. Okay, I guess I'm getting it. It's so fucking green. Green. Oh my god. I guess I kind of get it. You got something. A trout. It's beautiful. Remember last time we grilled one? I was supposed to catch 9 fish? Let's go again. Okay. Oh. All right. Yellow. Oh, okay. I see. It's kind of a Tetris thing, huh? Okay, so red's coming out. I see. We want the yellow. Got it. And then we make a green come out. That's good. We want the green. Give it. Okay, green's coming out, but we need red. Bingo. You got something. An eel. Ew. It's godless. Ugh. Am I really supposed to catch 9 things? I'm going to try. Oops, I got too excited. We got 2 fish. All right, next out is red, but we want green. So let's get rid of red. Let's get rid of the red. Green. And then we need another green. This is red. Give me green. Give me green. You're fucking me over here. Give me the green. Okay, wait, here we go. Yeah. Yeah. You got something. Catch 3. I got a trophy. Catch 3 fish. It's a catfish. Just look at the mustache. Okay, we're gonna go. I'm gonna try to get 9. Green? Green. Beautiful. Give me the green. Give me the green. Okay, here we go. We need green. You got something. A trout. Yeah, we grilled one. You told me about that. I just want to see if it cares. So that's 5 fish. All right, we need green. Oh no, we need the yellow. Okay, we need. Here we go. Big one coming. Boom. Okay. We need green. Yes. No. Oops. Hey, we need green. Here we go. And we need another green. Here it comes. We need green. We need green. Christine. Here it is. Oh! You got something. A catfish. That's 6, right? I could use some good, like, fishing tunes right now, to be honest with you. Well, I'm just fishing Christine. Oh, I love fishing in the lake or in the sea. What will I catch when I go to Lake Varney? You got something. A trout. That's 7, right? Or no, it's 6, all right? Is that what that little icon up there showing me? I got 6. Oh, I love fishing so much all the time. Never know what will show up on the line. Could it be a minnow? Or could it be a shark? Don't matter, but oh, I got something. It's a trout. Yeah, we grow one. You mentioned that. Okay, we're almost there. It needs to be green. 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 Oh. Ha-hoo! You're killing me here. Yahoo! Oh, come on. You got something! It's a catfish! We're so close. We're so close. Defeating the entire village. Here we go. Mm-hmm. You got something! I got a trophy. Catch 9 fish. Yeah, you grilled one. Okay, we're done. We did it. The town will survive through the winter now. You got the 9 fish that Martin asked you to catch. The goal of catching an albino tarpon is getting closer and closer. Are we going to take them to the old geezer or what? What do you think he meant? I think it was clear. Especially after seeing how you were shaking in the mill. Huh? I hear like a UFO sound. You hear that? I don't think there's UFOs in this. That was the last. Oh, I guess there weren't UFOs in Mothmen, were there? But there were men in black. Yeah, right. Wasn't it you who let out a scream when he bit the deer? Huh? You're a little bored of listening to them fight. I like that they're having like a pretty normal day after having encountered a fucking vampire. I don't know. I guess in the 50s, you just had to live fast, you know? It's usually something you enjoy. You couldn't, like, go home and just fucking play Roblox back in those days. That's why they were the greatest generation. But there are times when they seem childish. You think about your boyfriend. Ugh. What's he doing right now? Who cares? Does he miss you? Do you miss him? No. It's here. The end of the old road. I sharpened a twig with a razor. It might work as a stake. Oh, we're gonna kill him? I thought maybe he told us where to find some vampire treasure or something. I brought a silver chain. For a few seconds, no one says anything. What time is it? You look at the clock. It's almost 7. Brandon didn't show up all day, did he? You don't think that... Doug suddenly goes quiet. Do you feel that? Holy fuck. That's a crazy sound. Are we sure it's not a vampire UFO? You feel it too. A vibration. Some kind of electricity. And a burning smell. That's crazy. What the? Oh, Jimmy loves it. Come here, come on. Jimmy still surprises you. A few minutes ago he seemed... What word did you use? Childish. Now you don't know quite what to think. What do you think? I don't know. I just said that. Shall we go in? Yeah, let's go in. It's fine. You nod your head. Jimmy takes a step forward, but Doug grabs him by the shoulder. Shouldn't we wait until we're invited? Well, we're not vampires, Doug, unless you have something you want to share with us. Oh, fuck, dude, it's Morbius. That's funny. I thought only my kind had to worry about that. Come with me. You look at Doug. Doug looks at Jimmy. And Jimmy looks at you. Jimmy's always looking at me. Jimmy strides forward and forces you to take a few quick steps so as not to be left behind. Wow. Yes. Wow. You feel small in there. You've never seen a house with such high ceilings. There was a time when everything was different. You would have been greeted by my servants. Is this like our boy because we helped him out? It's our homie? Entertained until I decided to join you. What would you like to drink? Blood or blood zero? It has no calories, no sugar, all artificial sweeteners. I want soda. I'll have a soda. I want to know what kind of sodas the vampire has. Doug's eyes widen. Me too. Your cousin can't stay away from sugary drinks. What about a Bloody Mary? Oh, Jimmy. That's really fucking offensive, actually. He hated that. An awkward silence follows Jimmy's joke. Same as them, then. Yes, we did get the 9 fish. We got 9 fish and a trophy, and it said we're one step closer to catching the elusive albino tarpon. And now we're about to drink soda with this vampire. Maybe there's some in the pantry. I'll be back in a minute. As soon as the door to the huge dining room closes, the three of you jump out of your chairs. How old is this furniture? Who are all these people? Did you see the little bats on the chairs? None of you can contain your amazement. After all, you were in a vampire's house. Bloody Mary. Doug lets out a hiss, and you can't help but laugh. I'm sure he's been thinking up vampire jokes all afternoon. Jimmy doesn't say anything, and your laughter doesn't last long. The silence is oppressive. You wonder if the walls of the dining room had ever heard the sound of people laughing. You unconsciously fondle with your bracelet, and you're thankful it's silver. Yo, he found the Fantas! Time to party! The door opens and none of you say anything. You are lucky. I found carbonated beverages in one of the pantries. Is it just like club soda? Doug and Jimmy uncork their bottles. And they don't like what they hear. A faint hissing sound. Like a balloon quietly deflating. Did you see the bottling date? You try to speak softly so the vampire won't hear you. He's got big old vampire ears. He can definitely hear you. One of my maids always said, look at this. Just hanging out. Night with the homies. Soda never expires. Did he hear you? How? Do vampires have superhuman hearing? I know you have a lot of questions. Brandon, for example. You won't have to worry about him anymore. Oh shit. Did you kill him? What do you think I'm drinking? Not Fanta, certainly. Actually, no, excuse me. There you go. It's like an old radio play now. What do you think I am? Let's just say he's not going to be able to hurt anyone anymore. I ran him over with a car. He's what they call paraplegic. I'm not a monster. Come on. Listen carefully. You saved me. And now I owe you. What about the drive-in theater? I'm actually a vampire genie. 3 wishes. I killed the one boy. Now what else? question takes you by surprise. Is the vampire also able to read your minds? Or is there a simpler explanation? I just read your diary. We like horror movies. What is Doug doing? Why is he even telling him stuff? Give me a minute. I have something to show you. It's the new Oz Perkins movie. Long legs. What is this about? The marketing is so mysterious and scary. I called the phone number. I heard Nicolas Cage speaking to me. Does anybody know what's going on there? How many of the dozens of horror movies you've seen include a line just like that one? It's Brandon's spine. You wait for the door to close. Did I say Copycat? That's not the Oz Perkins one. His is Long Legs. There's another horror movie called Copycat. I think Hunter Schafer's in that one. I don't know. I don't compete in professional movie trivia anymore. That's a long time ago. I might have said Long Legs the first time. I don't know. I do a lot of talking. You don't have to say anything. You try to hold back your laughter and breathe through your nose. Why did we run? That's very rude. He was being pretty cool. A coworker in his 60s told me today that Twin Peaks is one of his favorite shows. You're the only person I know who has mentioned it to me ever. Really? That's surprising. I mean, it's a pretty acquired taste. Like, it's kind of niche. Also, it was, at its height, like, basically before I was born, at least when it first premiered, and then was off the air for 25 years, and then came back for one season. Yeah, it's not for everybody. I guess it's not that surprising that maybe no one has, I don't know, it's surprising no one else has mentioned it to you before. I would say not surprising if no one else had recommended it to you before. It's unlike anything. It's like unlike anything before it, and there will probably be nothing like it ever again. It's pretty remarkable. Not for everybody, but, it's David Lynch. Doug tries to catch his breath. What do you mean, why? That old guy's a freak. Or maybe I just have the sensibilities of a 60-year-old. I don't know. And we don't want to die in his haunted house. You look at Jimmy and smile. I think the guy's being cool. I think he was about to show you guys something cool. And now he's going to be upset. He's going to be sad. You made him sad. He's going to be so disappointed that you guys left. He saved his life. He showed you his cool mansion. He gave you vintage sodas. And he was going to get something really cool. Jimmy smiles back. Now he's going to come back with his cool thing. He's going to go, where did everybody go? He probably hasn't had a real friend in like 300 years. Just a second. And when you realize, you look down and pull your arm away. Whoa, yeah. Hands off the merchandise, huh? There's Lou. Chapter 4, Autumn 1981. You listen to them talking, and you think about how rude it was that they just got up and left in the middle of a cool vampire party. You also think about the best way to arrange the material for the book. On the one hand, you have the activities they did during the day. All the things that strengthened them as a group and made the story more human. On the other hand, the first night of the vampires. A dinner that didn't turn out as the vampire had probably expected. You adjust your glasses, a habit almost as old as you. Why are you asking yourself all these questions? At what point had you lost confidence in your writing process? You'd like to write as you used to, one chapter after the other, without worrying too much about the structure. Books are nothing more than an act of accumulation, you said, in one of the prefaces you'd been commissioned to write at some point. Now nobody commissions anything from you. You'd had a hard time finding a publisher for the new book. Well, Lou, maybe you should try writing something other than harem manga, okay? There's a surplus of it on the market right now. And to think 10 years ago, any nonfiction publisher in the country would have paid astronomical amounts to have you among their authors. Phew! Finally, a good sign. The story of these 3 kids had made you lose track of time. Would the same thing happen to your future readers? You'll have to excuse me. I have to make a phone call. I have to return some videotapes. I don't think it'll take more than 10 minutes. There's a phone across the street. Jimmy and Christine nod. Yeah, let's get these kids some alone time. Before you leave, you reach into your pockets. Oh, shit. I feel like Christine, she's probably got a purse, maybe a quarter in there, you know. Let's see. I always have some spare change. I knew it. I knew it, Christine. In case something happens with my son. Son? Oh no, Jimmy's gonna be so sad. She's off the market. It's only a second, but you notice the expression on Christine's face the moment she mentioned her son. It doesn't take a professional to notice the tension that still exists between these two. Oh, between these two. Interesting. Well, they didn't have a son together, did they? No, that wouldn't make any sense, right? Thank you, Christine. I'll be back in 5 minutes. 10 at the most. You know they won't miss you too much. Nah, these kids got a lot to catch up on. Jimmy and Christine have a lot to talk about. And this... Okay, that's like a lizard man. What is that eyeball? That's not a vampire. That's a lizard man. That's the Loveland frog right there. And by the way, I saw a really rude article about how dumb the Loveland frog is today, and I had to make sure it wasn't Dilly Tots who had written it. Unless he did so under a pseudonym, I'm tired. No, don't. It's not a good thing. Don't celebrate it. I'm tired of all you hater-ass bitches out there talking poorly on the Loveland frog, who I really think might be underneath that parka and scarf right there in the diner, watching Lou leave at this very moment. If I remember correctly, Mothmen had a lot else going on besides Mothmen. And so, I don't know. It's possible a frogman's going to pop up in the middle of this vampire story. I would not pseudonym my Loveland hate. I own it. Well, you should. You should be embarrassed. You should be ashamed of yourself. How dare you? And what gives you the right? All right, let's get out of here. Was nature mourning the commercial success that your last books didn't achieve? Who is this freakazoid? The funny thing is that you don't really care about money. Or rather, you're not interested in it as an end in itself. You just see it as a tool that allows you to continue your research and do damage control. You made some decisions in your career that you regretted, but you always tried to make up for it. Get away from me! Your heart almost came out of your mouth. Xantos, you motherfucker. Oh, we know this person. Is this the goat child? I remember that Mothmen ended with like a goat child being born. That's one. I don't remember everything about Mothmen, but I remember the ending being very strange. You're the Hate-Land frog? You're his rival. Oh, okay, that explains it. You're his arch nemesis. That's why. You're the Saruman to his Gandalf. What is Xantos? I'm sorry. Did I scare you? You let the air out of your mouth. Although you've seen many things over the years, terrible things. Unimaginable for some. You can't deny that Xantos has indeed frightened you. What happened? Why did you leave the diner? Xantos seems nervous. And he doesn't need to tell you anything for you to know what's wrong with him. Go. But 10 minutes tops. You go back to the booth and dial Lee's number. Lee is Xantos' adoptive father. Is it the goat child? And your friend, you might say. I can't remember if that's a character from Mothmen, but is that the goat child? That's a great noise. You feel responsible for everything that had happened to him. After all, Lee was one of the main characters in your book about the Mothmen and the 1966 meteor shower. It is the goat child. He's a goat man now, isn't he? I did not think that would come back. It's a goat, right? I remember a weird goat baby hybrid. The phone rings. I'm going to think about that night in 1966. Since that fateful night in November 1966, Lee could feel the effects of every possible present at once. Oh, I got a trophy. Pixel Pulper. Know more about Mothmen 1966. Huh. I got a trophy for picking that? Or did I get a trophy for, like... I wonder if it, like, recognizes that I played Mothmen from, like, my save data. You know, like that old little trick that, like, Metal Gear Solid did. Where he read your memory card. Probably not. It's probably just because I picked that dialogue option. It's hard for you to imagine something like that. To feel each and every possible present as if they had happened. Yeah, Psycho Manus. What impact would this have on a person? It was not a superpower, that much is clear. It was a curse. Lee's relationship with Victoria, whom he had married 3 months before their daughter was born, had deteriorated in recent years. Feeling all those presents where Victoria had lied to him, insulted him, cheated on him, belittled him, or worse, had been too much for Lee. And that was why he had moved to the other end of the country, and only you have his number. Lou? Okay, yeah, so he was in Mothmen. Him and it's like it's coming to me in pieces here. How many presents will there be where it's not you on the other end of the phone, but someone else? Could these presents be quantified and enumerated for analysis? Lou has kind of a Dale Cooper thing going on, speaking of Twin Peaks. I probably said that during Mothmen as well. You shake your head trying to concentrate on the conversation. They just feel like similar anecdotes or like monologues that Cooper would go on. Not as quite as eccentric, but... And to stop thinking about all the possible ramifications that every act, no matter how small, may have. Did you think I'd forgotten? Lee laughs. It starts telling you about the last stories he read. Lee is a fan of crime fiction. You had given him several dozen issues of the Ellery Queen Mystery magazine. And you call him religiously for him to tell you what happened in the stories he liked the most. That's cute. Lee needs to talk. He needs to be in contact with another human being. It was the least you could do after ruining his life. What about my son? Is he learning anything? I didn't expect it to have this much connectivity with Mothmen. I guess that was just an inaccurate assumption I had made. You notice his voice breaks when he mentions Xantos. You tell him that he's helping you. Observe the people you're interviewing. As if he had been summoned, you see Xantos walking across the street. You cover the phone with your hand and call him. You say Jimmy's name and make a gesture for Xantos to watch him. Xantos nods, and you go back to talking to Lee. I don't want to take anything for granted this time. Lee doesn't respond. But you think you know what he's thinking. Lou? Thank you. Before you can say anything, he hangs up. You hold your head and take a deep breath. You had screwed him up and he thanks you. You think about the new book. The biography of a very special vampire. Will they be okay when they find out? when they know the whole truth? Christina has a family, but Jimmy, you know how much he's suffered. It's impossible to foresee how he might react. But isn't there a possible present for any outcome? No. No! The end is always one and only one. And you have to learn to live with that. Jimmy! Chapter 5, Summer 1954. You think you exist, and therefore you do. This is nice, isn't it? But you'd rather not think, and exist without knowing it. So, what are we doing today? Alright, well, we already got the 9 fish, right? Let's go to the general market. I did notice that we didn't get the option to do the other things, but now it looks like we can. After what had happened with Brandon... What, you mean when he fucking died and got eaten by a vampire? Doug proposed a new game to play to raise money. No, not one of Doug's games. A game he invented a few days ago. I call this game Hopscotch Dice Race. Oh, Doug, what is this? Doug points to some painted pebbles that he took out of his backpack, along with the boards and dice. Fucking Doug, dude. He's the worst. The first thing you have to do is put one of these pebbles on your board. He's been waiting for any opportunity to start talking about this. You could put it on any square apart from the first and last ones on the board. Put pebble. Okay, place pebble. I don't know. Put it there. I don't know what to do, Doug. Now roll the die. Roll dice. Shall we start? You got a 6. Remember this number. Okay. Arnold from Magic School Bus is exactly what I said. That's pretty much how he got this voice. Was me making the exact same comparison at the start. To win the game, you have to move the die to the other colored cell. I don't want to go, Miss Frizzle. Can't I just stay here and do math homework? I don't want to go inside the anatomy of a whale. The die moves from one cell to the other, turning in the direction. I don't want to go to the moon. I just want to sit here and color. So each time you move it, the number on the die changes. I already stopped paying attention, Doug. I'm so sorry to tell you that. To win, you have to come out with the same number you came in with. And I almost forgot. Before you finish, you have to pick up the pebble. And you can pick it up only if you have a 1 on the dice. When there are no more pebbles on your board, you can go to the finish square to win the race. Dice race with hopscotch, get it? Fuck you, Doug. How about that? I actually really... I was reading like 2 prompts or 2 dialogues, and I wasn't actually like perceiving them. I was just reading them. So I do indeed not know what the fuck Doug was talking about. I just want to hit him. I want to give him like I want to hit him in the, this is what I want to do. I want to do that thing with my hand where you go like, look down, and then you make like that kind of okay symbol, like the circle with your pointer and thumb, and then your other 3 fingers are sticking out, and then he looks at it below the waist, and and you punch him twice in the arm. Fucking Doug. Stupid ass. How about that? I invented that game in 1955. How about that, Doug? I don't know what to do. I'm just going to move right. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Just pebble. Hopscotch. Move left. I pick up the pebble. You have to have a 1 of me. I want to pick up the pebble. Okay. I just... Sorry. Okay. Right. So I can't pick up the pebble. I would be able to pick up the pebble on this, but I have to be on the pebble square. I'm gonna pick up the pebble, idiot. I don't know what to do. Move left. Move right. Okay. Move down. Move right. And race. You have to finish the race with a 6. Okay, Doug. Okay. 6. There's a 6. Move right. Move it down. Okay, I think I see. I think I kind of see. Hold on. All right, so we need... That's a 6. What was the point of the pebble? I don't. Do I have to pick up the pebble also to finish the race? I just picked it up as soon as I had the opportunity to. We got a 5. Okay, there's a 6. If we go left, we get a 6. And then move up, move right, move right, move right, move down. Oh, I thought that was going to give me a 6. Move up, move left, down, right. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this prompt up at the top. Hold on. If I go left, I should get a 6. No, wait, I got a 1. Okay, hold on. What? I think I can just end this at any time, and I think I will. I hate Doug's games. Huh? Okay, we got a 4. I was thinking it meant... So if I'm thinking the thing at the top is showing me that if I move right, I get a 6. But no, I get a 1. If I move up, I get a 5. What if I just go the long way? Nothing. Okay, we got 6. Move up. Got a 5. Move right. Okay. Oh, okay. I see it's just decreasing. Okay, hold on. I think I'm overthinking it, which is pretty consistent with everything I do in life. Okay, hold on. So move right. It goes down, so go down. Now it's a 6. It goes down to 4. 1. Move up. Move right. 2. 4. What? No. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't care. I'm out. I don't want to do it. Get me out. What happened? Your game sucks. Nothing happened. You don't feel like playing anymore. You don't have to give any explanations. Thank you, Jimmy. I didn't really pay attention to how that works, and I wasn't figuring it out. There's no time. I don't know. Were you... Was that making any sense to you? I know they just explained it to me right before it started, but I'm an idiot. No, it wasn't making sense to you? Okay. Well, at least there's that. I thought I was getting it, and then it wasn't working how I wanted. Creature from the Black Lagoon. You have to see it. I do appreciate, by the way, just... I can tell, like, the developers do really love, like, card games and I guess dice games and such. I do appreciate that they put that in as a part of their game, but don't make it like a hard stop to progress. You could You can play that part if you want, or if you just want to enjoy the story and move on, you can just do so. And there's presumably no real punishment for it. I imagine if I had played that like to completion, I would have gotten a trophy probably. Maybe some secret dialogue or something like that, but otherwise I can just go, nah, fuck this and move on. And I appreciate that. Get the idea, but with even numbers of spaces up and down, and left and right, I don't know how you can change the outcomes at the edges. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't coming to me, you know? I'm sure Doug did a really good job of explaining it, and I just didn't take the time to understand. Sorry, Doug. Fuck you, Doug. Sorry to keep Christine. House of Wax, Invaders from Mars, The Thing from Another World. It doesn't matter what horror movie it is. She's watched them all. Fuck you, Doug. That's not fair. Your boyfriend works at the movie theater. There he is again. Christine's boyfriend. Is it really necessary to mention him so much, Doug? You take a deep breath and look up at the sky. The shape of the truck's hood fits perfectly against your back, and you force yourself to smile. Toad season, Doug? Doug raises his eyebrows and starts making noises with his mouth. Ugh, Doug. Ew, Doug, shut up. You can't contain your laughter. You're disgusting. Yeah, I agree, Christine. Doug laughs too. With a hoarse laughter, almost as if he were choking. You remember that afternoon of last summer very well. Doug had gotten a vinyl record he was obsessed with. You'd seldom seen him like that. And how he'd insisted that you listen to it. The record was part of a collection documenting the sounds of the world. Doug's just mad he isn't Doug's boyfriend. Everything from distant cultures to meteorological phenomena. Doug wasn't particularly interested in the collection. But this record, it was special. It included recordings of toads singing in the middle of mating season. Doug wants to fuck the Loveland frog. Could you please stop? Christine's anger only makes you laugh harder. Doug finally stops imitating the toads. The laughter gradually fades away and ends up turning into a sustained sigh. You look at your friend and think about what he confessed to you that afternoon. He wants to fuck the Loveland frog. It was sad, but neither of you had older siblings. Or a father figure to lean on. Oh my. That vinyl record with its songs of toads during mating season was the closest thing Doug had to a Playboy? Okay, I was kidding, but I don't. Doug, what do you mean, Doug? What do you mean? What do you mean about that, Doug? What are you talking about? What's that? On that branch. You see? Bat? Where? Ugh. The bat soars into the air with a loud screech. Come here. We know it's you. Oh fuck, it's really him. Are they just like used to having this guy around? How long have you been there? You're not following us, are you? I told you. I am indebted to you. See? He's a freak. I heard one of you wanted to fuck the Loveland frog. I happen to have his phone number. Wait a minute. Brandon stopped bothering us, right? So? Are we good? The vampire nods. You can't deny that his presence at the drive-in bothers you a little. The drive-in is something for the three of you. The Only Child's Club. The Only Child's Club. The question takes you by surprise. Wasn't that what Christine had said? That the vampire could read your minds? I'm an only child too. Or at least that's what I thought. There's something in his eyes that forces you to pay attention. A sadness that you can relate to. And considering Doug and Christine's silence, you could swear they're feeling something similar. Is he really an only child? How did he become a vampire? How does someone turn into a vampire? No. I know how someone turns into a vampire, brother. I asked, how do you turn into a vampire? He puts his hand on his jugular and remains silent. Is he really an only child? The vampire tells you that he believes so for most of his life. Raised by a strong mother and an older gentleman. But after the conversion, he had discovered that he was born on the other side of the Atlantic, and that he had a twin brother. However, his original family had given him to a couple who couldn't have children, and who were about to emigrate to the United States. Isn't that tragic? That's a shame, but at least you're not like a goat baby. I've seen some weird things, man. Two brothers separated at birth, and turned into two only childs. What's his real name? The vampire says that his name's not important. Dr. Michael Morbius. But that you can call him Lizzt? Lizzt? Lizzit? 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 The vampire just told you to call him Lizzit. After listening to him, you can't deny he has suffered just as much as the three of you. What will the others say? Will they give Lizzit a chance to prove himself as a new member of the club? Let him join. He's kind of nice. Oh my god, we're playing as Xanthos. Lou calls it goat Tourette's. What on earth? You know he doesn't mean it in a bad way. As well as being your godfather, Lou is a writer. And sometimes writers use words like shortcuts. Your mom didn't like it when Lou said goat Tourette's. You had read about Tourette's, and you understood the comparison. Doctors call the tension in a muscle group that the individual with Tourette's relieves with motor tics, the premonitory urge. Your case is different. The urgency is not focused on it. He's going to go bad on a specific muscle group, but rather in the whole of your being. With every kick, every jump, and every blow, you feel alive, as if all of a sudden the veil were pulled back. Or he needs to like gallop around. Goat Tourette's is what allows you to bear being unable to show yourself to the world as you really are. As you were when your parents and your godfather found you that night in 1966. Yeah, he's got zoomies. Goat Tourette's is the way you found to forgive yourself, at least for a little while. Oh my god. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. Go down. Yep. I was not expecting this. Oh my god. This is amazing. This is better than any game Doug ever came up with. Yeah, think quick. I love his little face. Good job, you did it, Xanthos. The spasmodic movements release the accumulated tension. A rhythm, I would never have guessed you could do a rhythm section in a retro DOS-like visual novel, but there it was. That was incredible. And for a moment, you feel the veil being lifted. Behold the goat boy is the trophy. This is my favorite trophy I've ever received. All caps, behold the goat boy. I'm Xanthos, son of Victoria and Lee, godson of Lou. And I am a goat man. That's right, brother, you tell him. You breathe a sigh of relief. But you know the sensation won't last long, and you still have things to do. You wonder if Lou made the right choice in selecting you for the job. Xanthos, private detective. You hope to one day have your own sign on the door of an office downtown. I would never have guessed the goat boy would have returned, but that's still a long way off. You nod to Lou and walk back into the Nyack Cafe. You're just starting. And for now, your tasks are pretty simple. Lou asked you to watch Jimmy and Christine during the interview, and to follow Jimmy after the meeting. Your godfather had told you that, after telling them the truth, anything could happen. And that you had to be very careful with the consequences of their actions. And you? Wasn't that what you were? A consequence of their actions? Poor Xanthos. I want to protect him. Christine! The raindrops pound the roof, and you have to speak loudly to be able to hear each other. It's really coming down out there. Behold, I do not want to behold Christine. Why does he oh, shit, I got too excited. When you have nothing to say, you just stay quiet. I want to behold the goat boy. Meh. It's really coming down out there? And why describe what everyone can already see? You stretch a bit. Do we go back then? Both of them nod. Jimmy seems like he's going to say something else, but ultimately changes his mind. Another of his astute observations? Your legs dangle from the platform. Is the vampire here with us? A gentle breeze caresses your arms. I see 4. And you sigh. You wonder what you'll remember of all this 10 years from now. And in 20? In 25? Let me think a little. I have to say, this is not the direction I thought it would go. I definitely thought it would eventually take, like, I mean, it still could, but I thought it would become, you know, a pretty, like, sort of standard vampire horror story. Not like, hey, the vampire is pretty chill, and we just had, like, a weird summer with him. It's kind of a pleasant surprise. Is Christine's boyfriend the goat boy? Does he work at the theater? Xanthos deserves the best. Look at that, we're playing chess with a little zit. You look at your cousin. Doug, do not fucking make me actually play chess, I swear to God. Doug over here is going to be like, I made up this new game called chess. Unless it's going to be like, actually, I remember when they invented chess. I was only 10 years old. Since the night you started hanging out with the vampire at the drive-in, the dynamics of the Only Child's Club had changed. Doug spends most of his time with Lizette. And now that you have more space for just the two of you, Jimmy seems to have closed in on himself. Do not talk about your boyfriend. Let's talk about Lizette. Who's Maggie? I don't remember who that is. Let's talk about Lizette. Do you think what Lizette said about the games is true? I'm sorry, what? Jimmy raises his shoulders. He looks like he wants to say something, but regrets it. I don't know if it's true, but I think it makes sense. I always wondered about the origins of certain board games. To think they're an advanced society's experiment to study us. It seems more credible than the idea that a random person could have designed something like chess. Oh yeah, why don't you ask Doug? He seems to do it every fucking day. Talk about Doug. I like my cousin's games. Okay, Christine. There's no need to be dishonest. But I don't know. I always feel there's something missing. You regret what you said as soon as the words leave your mouth. Out of everything you could have said about Doug, why choose that? Something like what? Give an example. We're committing to it. We're committing to shitting on Doug. Yeah, we're not being nice. He's over there. He's distracted. The 10 solitaire, for example. The solitaire? There's a trick to make a super 10 with 0 effort. Jimmy opens his eyes wide. Yeah, Jimmy's dumb as hell. He couldn't figure it out at the beginning of the game. It was really embarrassing. I hated to see that. The first thing you have to do is add up the cards of each color on the board. Let's suppose that the black cards add up to 31 and the reds come to 38. Take 31 from 38 and you're left with 7. 7 in favor of red. Once you know that, the only thing left to do is flip the cards in the deck until you get a red 3. And when that happens, you put it all down. The red 3 plus the 38 red cards on the table add up to 41. 41 minus the 31 of all the black ones, 10. Wow. Why did you tell Jimmy about the trick? Shouldn't you have talked to Doug first? Given him a chance to improve the solitaire? You don't want to admit it, but finding mistakes in your cousin's creations gives you a certain confidence. It's not just the satisfaction of finding someone else's mistakes. It's something else. Something you don't want to think about too much. I don't remember who Maggie is. Did you talk to Maggie? If you talk to Maggie... Jimmy looks at you for a few seconds and finally looks down. She called by to give my mom something. That's it. His "that's it" annoys you. As if Jimmy thinks he owes you an explanation. I won't talk about him. I won't. I refuse. Fuck! Don't talk about that, Doug. Come on. You card counting proto MIT loser. Chill out. Fuck! Mate 4. I will not all camps talk about her boyfriend. We're out. We're not doing that. I hate talking about her boyfriend. Forced. Her boyfriend sucks. They finally finished the game. Look at this screen. I hate this screen. Look at him. Awful. You didn't know how much more you could take. It's too much Doug on my screen right now. You stand up and smooth out your pants. Look at this guy. Doug starts picking up the pieces. One more? No, that's enough for today. Why don't you tell us one of your stories? Lizette? How do you think are we supposed to say that? Lizette? Nods, and you get ready to listen. I think it's list? It's easier to say. Lished. Which story would you like to hear? Oh, which do we want to hear? Godfrey the glue maker? Gilbert the lumberjack? Or Milo the thief? Which one do you want to hear? I'm going to let you pick out which one you want to hear. I'm kind of curious about all these. You want to hear about the glue maker? I was thinking the same thing. We're on the same page. That's the weirdest one. Missed out. He was cool with you running the fuck out on him. Apparently, yeah. There's always a time skip when it switches back to the 50s. But yeah, he just popped back up in their lives and was like, "Hey, you guys are cool. Thanks for saving me that one time. I want to keep hanging out with you." And that's what they're doing. All right, tell me about Godfrey the glue maker. This is the story of Godfrey the glue maker. Godfrey was a glue maker. He made glue from horse bones and hooves. His wasn't the best animal glue in the region, but he'd been very lucky. He sold the glue to a famous bookbinder in town. However, whilst he had built a very lucrative business, Godfrey had not been able to find love. He was a romantic, a true believer in the concept of the other half. Oh no, I think I already see where this might be going. One afternoon, crouched over the dead body of a young foal he had bought from a widow, he had an idea. After shaking the dirt off it, the animal had fallen off a cliff and crushed its owner. He cut off the horse's tail with a big pair of scissors, stood up, and approached the mirror. He raised the horse's tail behind his head, and he liked what he saw. It was a new Godfrey, younger. He loves this part. Healthier even, with long silky hair. It didn't take much to make up his mind. Didn't he make animal glue for a living? A few weeks later, and with renewed confidence, Godfrey met the most beautiful Isolde, a young woman who ended up being his wife, my wife, and whom he loved fervently. One day, while Godfrey was in his workshop working on a hanging carcass, Isolde approached him from behind. Lisette just fucking kills the vibe of the party. He's like, okay, it's my turn to tell one. And he just tells this disgusting freak story. Everybody goes home. She was smiling from ear to ear as she had great news to give to her husband. But the moment she touched his back, something strange happened. Yeah, and he looks like this. He gets more pumped, the more fucked the story gets. Hey, that's a cool image there with his shadow like that. Godfrey's shoulders dislocated with a wet crack, and both arms suddenly shot back, as if powered by strong pistons. The hit landed on her chest. Godfrey turned around and saw Isolde on the floor, her eyes wide open. He ran to her and, to his horror, found that she was dead. He burst into tears, his face resting on Isolde's chest. Godfrey cried for a long time, unable to move. And his tears moistened the ends of the horse's tail he had glued to his head almost a year ago. Wow. Wow. What a story. You look at Doug. Doug looks at you and nods. Another story? Oh, fuck yes, we can hear all the stories. I want to hear every single one. I'll tell you the story of Gilbert the Lumberjack. Gilbert wielded the axe as few others could. I'll hear every story he wants to tell as long as I have to play one of Doug's games. He lived a nomadic life, dedicated exclusively to work. Carpenters and builders adored him. One day, while chopping at a very thick oak tree, Gilbert heard a groan. He pressed his ear to the trunk. Could the tree be complaining? Look at his face up in the top right. It's so sad. He removed the axe from the trunk and swung it again. There was no doubt. There was the groan again. Confused, he dropped the axe and paused to think for a few minutes. Gilbert didn't particularly like his job, but it was the only thing he knew how to do. He had estimated that if he had kept doing it for 5 more years, he could retire and live in one of the small towns he had passed by. Determined to follow through with his plans, he picked up the axe and ignored the groans of the oak tree. But from that day on, Gilbert began to hear the sobs of all the trees he felled. Oaks, pines, firs, beeches, they all suffered under the lumberjack's axe. There's just always a turn in the story where he gets super hyped. Although it wasn't easy for him, Gilbert learned to ignore the whining. It was the only way he could keep working. 5 years later, Gilbert retired. He settled in a village and soon after met Estrid, whom he married. Estrid was slender and frail-looking. Gilbert loved her deeply. Before long, the young woman contracted an illness that left her bedridden. She lay on her bed all day long, and Gilbert brought her tea and sang to her. Estrid grew weaker every day, until one afternoon an attack of withering pain foretold her end. The woman kept writhing, crying, and moaning loudly. Meanwhile, Gilbert was in the courtyard of the house. And although he could hear her, he kept carving, without even blinking, the figures of 2 lovers melting in a case on a sprig of oak. You try to imagine Estrid's last hours, and you feel sick. Do you want another story? Okay, tell us about Milo the Thief. Milo the Thief! Milo was on the run. He had robbed a shopkeeper and was chased to the entrance of the forest. Gotta say, none of these stories really go anywhere I think they're gonna go. I like that he's just like not really like a great storyteller. It's really funny. The chase didn't stop there, and an hour later, when the sun finally set, Milo was sure he wouldn't be caught. Without letting up his pace, and always stretching his arms forward to avoid hitting a tree, Milo continued on into the darkness of the forest. Let me get a sip of tea here. I think I know what's about to happen. No, not yet. After walking for a while, the thief ran into a jagged wall. And almost at the same time, he heard a growl closer than he would have liked. Surely he couldn't have managed to escape from the soldiers, only to end up being eaten by a bear. With his hands resting on the wall, he looked for a foothold so he could climb up. He was shaken, but the effort was worth it. The thief found the entrance to a small cave through which the animal would not fit. He crawled through the darkness, and too exhausted to do anything else, he fell asleep. Milo awoke with the first light of morning. He looked inside and noticed that the cave was deeper than he had thought the night before. He squatted down and moved forward until he reached the gallery, where he could finally stretch out. He couldn't believe his luck. It was the perfect hiding place. Not just from the bear, but from the town authorities. He looked around and noticed a group of mushrooms that had grown on a kind of mound. He approached and plucked one. His belly was rumbling. Without thinking too much, he took a bite. He was surprised by his own recklessness, but it tasted so good. He took a second bite, and his legs went slack. He fell to the ground, writhing in pain. He tried to crawl to the exit, to call for help, but only managed to let out a weak whimper. At first he felt his body burning, but then he lost all sensation. He was completely paralyzed by the toxins. Unable to even express horror on his face, Milo watched as the mound of earth seemed to move. It was not dirt, but a strange creature with colorful mushrooms growing on its back. The creature advanced a few feet towards Milo and began to writhe, giving birth to a dozen translucent skin-shapeless offspring that began to crawl, opening and closing the mouths. And Milo, unable even to close his eyes or move his head to the other side, watched the hideous creatures slowly swell as they ate him alive. The end! You didn't quite know what to think. Was there a teaching to Milo's story? Thou shalt not steal? Curiosity killed the cat? Personally, you like stories where the line between good and evil is a little bit fuzzier. One more? No, that's it. I got a trophy. Storyteller. Listen to all of Lizette's stories. It's getting late. You're not wrong, Christine. Doug asks for one more and looks at Jim. Doug! Fucking Doug. Christine is right. Doug starts croaking like a toad. Ew. And you pretend not to hear him. Oh, you want to hear the one about how I fucked the Loveland frog? Lou. Liza enjoyed telling these stories. There was something about the way he moved his hands, the way he projected his voice, and his shadow. It looked like, I don't know, like he could control the darkness around him. Christine shifts in her chair. But his most striking feature were his eyes. He'd also make this really garish fucking grin. He'd like wrinkle up his entire face and he'd be gnashing his fangs, and we all got, it really was a vibe killer. Huge vibe killer. Yeah. There was something about the way he looked at you that took you to the very heart of his stories. Is it you? Oh, God. The couple look at you in silence. Ugh! They expect you to say something. When was the last time something like this happened? If that's me? The old couple smile. And something snaps inside you. You tell them you are not that person. You're not the author of... Please, I'm busy. You hear the old man tut as they walk away. Ah, I got a trophy. Jerk. Be an asshole. Well, I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm sorry. I didn't know who that was or what he wanted. Be an asshole. I've never seen like profanity in a trophy description like that. He's holding a copy of a book you obviously recognize. Risen by Falling Stars. With the subtitle your editor added and you never really liked. The Secret Story of the Cryptids' Wars. You even remember the text on the dust jacket. Risen by Falling Stars by Lou Hill features exclusive first-person reports on the last battle of the Cryptid Wars in 1966. Risen by Falling Stars had sold more than 100,000 copies. Christine coughs and you apologize. The smiles of the old couple stick with you. Where were those smiles when you released your last book and couldn't sell the minimum required by the publisher? Where were we? Jeez, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be an asshole. I just... they have given me weird vibes. They're really close to me and giving me weird smiles, and I don't know what they want. Varney Lake. You know that if you lived here, it wouldn't be the same. That all this has value because it has an end. Christine takes out her notebook. Although you did lots of things, you couldn't achieve anything on the summer bucket list. But does it matter? You see your friends smile. And you can't help but copy them. You'd like to tell them how much you love them. But you feel embarrassed. Will you be brave tonight? You don't understand. Why is it so hard to talk to her? I think I remember this. I feel like this song was in the Mothmen game. Something feels very familiar about it. But maybe it's not your fault. Doug is a blemish on the ass of this earth. Maybe you never really had the choice. Like every year, all the kids gather on the beach of the lake to watch the fireworks. The explosions of color in the sky mark the end of summer. Even though you try to smile, you find it hard to hide the pit you've been feeling in your stomach for the last few days. The simple realization that nothing lasts forever. How many more summers like this one will you have? Do you hear that? Neither of you says anything. Neither one of you ever says anything. It's the toads! Oh my god. Christine grimaces and looks at you. Doug taps you on the shoulder. Don't do it. You stay silent. Christine shakes her head. But you didn't say anything. You want to say something, but you see Brandon. Oh, he's alive. Oh no, he had his brain sucked out or something, didn't he? He looks like he had his brain sucked out. Lost. You remember end of summer parties of the past. How most kids avoided the place where Brandon and his gang hung out. Yeah, he got a lobotomy. That Brandon everyone was afraid of. What had Lizette done to him to leave him like that? Look who we have here. The guys surround Brandon. And Brandon doesn't seem to understand what's about to happen. Bert, who Brandon once pushed out of a moving car. Tommy, from whom Brandon had stolen a slinky just to wrap it around his leg, leaving him with marks that, according to the doctor who treated him, were permanent. Steve, whom Brandon had lifted by the collar of his shirt with one hand and his underpants with the other, to use him as if he were a battering ram to take down his friends while the rest of the gang exploded with laughter. And your friends? Everyone had been talking about it. Without violent and abusive Brandon, the boys were no longer afraid of them. And none of the other members of the gang would dare to come to the fireworks. But what about Brandon? Why had he come? Everything happens too fast. And the moment he hits the ground, everyone starts kicking him. Stop, please! You'll see, motherfucker! Oh, shit. Do you like that, you son of a bitch? Each explosion illuminates Brandon's terrified face from a different angle. Look at the big baby crying. Should we call Mommy? Oh, right. She'd rather stick her head in the oven than watch you grow up. When the smoke dissipates, Brandon takes a few steps back. Look! The guys point at him, laughing. He pissed his pants! Come on, let's go get closer to the fireworks. He won't bother anyone anymore. Some spit on him before walking away. Others kick him. None of you move. Brandon looks at you. And you look down at the floor, not quite knowing what to feel. Fireworks mark the end of the summer. And the beginning of something that haunts you to this day. They look like Johnny Bravo's Inside Out personas. Oh, like his... Okay, I got you. Inside Out. The Pixar movie. I was like, I don't remember those characters. No, now I get it. I see what you're saying. I put it all together. Why, Christine? Why didn't we do anything? We couldn't possibly imagine what was going to happen. I don't know. I really can't. We couldn't know it's true. But we just watched, Christine. Doug, Christine. That vengeful son of a bitch, Brandon, killed him. Killed him! Holy fuck, what? If we'd intervened that night at the beach, if we'd stopped them... No. It's not fair. There was nothing you could have done. Or at least nothing that could have changed your cousin's destiny. Lou clears his throat, and the noise brings you back to the present. There's no easy way to put it, so I'm just going to say it. Doug, your cousin, your friend, who everyone thought was dead in the months following that summer of 1954. He's alive! No! I mean, what? What? Yeah. And I can prove it. Is Doug a vampire? What? But, Brandon... Your head starts spinning. Just listen to me. It won't take long. This newspaper is from December 9th, 1954. Your cousin had disappeared on December 1st. Every newspaper tells more or less the same story. Watching from a window, an eyewitness saw a big boy savagely beating a smaller one. He went inside to call the police. And when he came back, both boys were gone. A few days later, the witness recognized Doug's face on the missing posters put up by the family. It was the same boy the big guy had beaten ferociously. Jesus fucking Doug. Oh, man. You know, we always thought the best of Doug. Always had the nicest things to say of him. When the police showed him some pictures. He also recognized Brandon, the prime suspect in the investigation, after everything that happened that summer at Varney Lake. And whom the police had been unable to question because he was missing. Everyone drew the same obvious conclusion. Brandon was behind Doug's disappearance. But the newspapers also mentioned a second witness in passing. Benjamin Van Stone, an addict who lived on the streets. The police took his testimony. However, his statements were dismissed on the assumption that it was some kind of hallucination. Van Stone had stated that a winged figure appeared above the big boy. Oh! Oh shit! Lizette! You dirty dog! And that with one swipe, it had cut off his head. The smaller boy was dying. The figure held him in their arms. And stuck its fangs into his neck. Oh my god, Doug is a fucking vampire. At that point, Van Stone got scared, hid in an alley, and didn't come out for a few hours. Escapes for eternity. A few days later, he showed up to testify. He couldn't stand the nightmares anymore. Nobody believed him. You understand what this means, right? Lizzie turned Doug into a vampire! Lou nods. No. It can't be. Jimmy speaks softly, with a broken voice. You look at him with an overwhelming desire to hug him. And you? What do you feel? Your cousin, Doug, he's alive. And what about Brandon? What had Lizette done with Brandon's body? I turned him into glue. Didn't his family deserve to know what happened to him? Does it matter? If the story Lou just told you was true, Brandon had tried to kill your cousin. Brandon. Never mind that he was your first kiss. Oh, Christine. Brandon was a son of a bitch. You take a deep breath. Does Jimmy know about that? That would kill him inside. How many years has it been? Was Brandon the theater boyfriend? God, I hope not. No, Doug would have told us. Look. I took this picture a few weeks ago. Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that Doug, that means he's eternally a child. For some reason, I was still picturing him as like an adult vampire. But no, he's this fucking dork forever. But also a vampire. And he hangs out with the Men in Black? Or is he like the heir to the Solitaire Empire? I took this picture a few weeks ago. It's for the book I'm writing. A biography about Doug. Oh, I hate him. I fucking hate him. The Vampire Kid. That's a great wrestling persona, too. Don't tell me we're playing as Doug. Okay, I totally thought it was going to transition to Doug. I can't believe it. The seconds pass. Raindrops clatter relentlessly on the sidewalk. With the perseverance of a ruminative thought, why didn't Doug ever contact you in all these years? Where is he now, right? Lou had told you he didn't know the current whereabouts of your friend. The vampire kid steps into the ring with 2 or more 6 guns and spurs and a bandolier of stakes. There he is, Michael Cole. He's the vampire kid. The vampire kid, my God. And that he'd let you know as soon as he had more information. Now we have to wait. Listen, are you okay? Is somebody playing a kazoo in the alleyway next to us? Can I give you a ride somewhere? What? Christine repeats the question. Hey! Christine tries to smile. Come here. I'll take you home. No thanks. I need to walk. His finisher is the porterhouse steak. Come on. Jimmy. You make an effort to look her in the eyes. Pull yourself together, Jimmy. Come on. Christine doesn't say anything else. You give her a kiss on the cheek. Nice. And you walk away in the rain. Doug is alive. Meh. Why didn't he ever call his mother? Does he know how his family suffered? How you suffered? You still remember the day Christine called you to tell you about it. Christine was sure that they were going to find him. That Doug was fine. We've been saying it. Doug fucking sucks. We've been saying it the whole time. Nobody listened to us. But you suspected the worst. Senior year of high school was one of the hardest. All you could think about were Doug's plans. This is how you get Van Helsing's. It seemed so unfair that someone had taken away his future. Far from diminishing, the pain grew as the years went by. Alcohol helped you sometimes. It made you forget. You never stopped visiting your friend's mother. Even though she didn't lose hope. She suddenly flew into fits of hysteria that tore you apart. You think about what Lou told you. About the witness who had seen the posters papering the whole town. As soon as you heard about his disappearance, you traveled to join the search. Doug lived in the same town as Brandon. How could you not see that something like this would happen? That Brandon would seek revenge? So much pain. The alcohol, the street fights, the army. Vietnam, the shootings, the smell of the jungle. The return to the country, the desire to leave everything. The nights sleeping on the streets, the fights in the shelter. And now a guy like Lou comes along and tells you that Doug is alive? Who the fuck does he think he is? You try to calm down. You know someone is following you. Meh. It's the same person who was watching you in the bar. Hiding behind a newspaper. It'd be funny if he was like walking but still holding the newspaper, hiding behind it. It's not the first time you've been followed since you came back from Vietnam. And you know exactly what you have to do to lose them. After a while, you get out of the van and wander aimlessly. Or at least that's what you think you're doing. The rain follows your every move. You hurry your pace, driven by a force you can't define. A certain attraction. The deer, you suddenly think. What the fuck? This was something you and Doug used to talk about. In one of his magazines, Doug had read about a doctor who claimed that there were people who had a hard time seeing what they were thinking. People who were thinking about an apple and who couldn't see it in their head. Hey, I feel like I know somebody who's explained this exact sensation to me before. Hey, who's that? That's right, that's you, big guy. You didn't see the apple. But you could swear that for a second, you could see the deer exactly as it had been back in '54. Autorama, that's the name of the drive-in that I like to go to. What? How? The drive-in theater that Taylor likes to go to. Like the deer in the mill, something or someone brought you here. A Fantasia, baby. I feel so seen. Good. I'm glad we could find representation for you in Varney Lake. Actually, yeah, I don't think I'd ever known, because I'm the opposite of that. I didn't know that was a thing really until you had told me about that. And I always found that fascinating that that's applicable to you because you're an artist and are very good at realizing your ideas in a visual way. And so it's very interesting to me that you don't see them vividly in your mind's eye before putting them to paper or what have you. I would think that would be challenging, but I guess if you don't know anything different, there's no reason it would be. Didn't either until I was 30-something, so you didn't know the opposite was true. Interesting. How far have you walked already? You cross the grounds facing the huge screen, among the poles of the drive-in's audio system. Some are crooked, some broken in two, but others still have their speakers plugged in, and you even think you can hear static. There he is. Doug. Your friend who had died. Oh my God. And now is alive. Doug. Doug takes a few seconds to answer. Who the fuck are you? See now it's his same voice, but it's a vampire version. You croak at the top of your lungs. Look at that Nosferatu back there. I see that. I see what y'all doing. Jimmy? I don't, doing this voice and doing this voice at the same time. It's hard to, like, figure out what, what voice is in the middle of those two. Jimmy! All these years. Why, Doug? He wouldn't get an accent all of a sudden? Are you sure? I think all vampires inherently get that accent. He's probably been hanging out with Lizette for, you know, the last 30 years. Why the fuck didn't you tell us anything? Look at his dumb teeth. Your heartbeat quickens with every step he takes. He doesn't look like the same Doug. Jimmy. Why? Ugh! You really think I didn't try? Your mom, your friends, me. Yeah, hit him. Hit him while Nosferatu watches. Have you any idea how much we suffered because of you? You'd like to tell him about that first year of desperate search, about the false hope whenever the phone rang, of the grades at school, of the jobs you got kicked out of Vietnam, of the alcohol, the streets, the hunger, but you don't even know where to start. A shriek freezes your blood, and you stop feeling the floor beneath your feet. Let go of me. Ah! No! Oh my god! One of the broken speaker poles pierces your stomach. Jimmy! Look what you did, Doug. It's my fault. At last we agree, Doug. They won't let me. Doug! I wouldn't forgive myself for being late again. Oh my god, Doug. Put it in your pants, dude. Hooray! Come here. Let me help you. Oh, don't keep your hungry little lips off my neck. The reflection of the driving screen makes Doug's fangs glow. It'll just take a second. Then you'll feel better. With the last of your strength, you grab Doug by the arm, and you shake your head. Jimmy, please. Make him promise you. Swear to me. But listen to me. No. I'm tired. Doug looks away, but he doesn't retract his fangs. You try to smile and try to imitate a toad. Little by little, you feel yourself disappearing. You close your eyes. And you wait for everything else to fade away. Oh my god! That's the ending? Jesus. I think I said something similar at the end of Mothmen. I remember Mothmen ending like really abruptly and sort of strangely, and I remember kind of feeling like there was some unresolved subplots and character arcs possibly. And so I kind of feel the same way here, and part of me wonders if maybe there is more to see if I had like I feel like there was that part where it was like you didn't do everything that you planned to that summer. I got a trophy, thank you. Watch the credits until the end. John Carpenter's Christine, Secret Scene 1. I almost made a joke earlier about John Carpenter's Christine, because there's... Wait, he did change Jimmy? Jimmy seems to love it. Secret scenes, oh. Oh, look, we can play Doug's little game whenever we want. Yeah, see, there's 4 secret scenes. Oh, look at all this. See, there's all this other stuff we didn't do. Make a Super 10. Catch a... Oh, there's other stuff we could have caught? We never got this. Lose a dice hopscotch race. See Mount Rushmore in the sky, win. Make vampire jokes, get $100. See, there's a bunch more we could have done. Let's see, look, here's we got a trophy for being an asshole. So you can't necessarily do all of these in a single playthrough, I guess. Listen to all of his stories. Make Xantos walk silly like that amazing comedy bit. What? Lose all your money. See 4 different comet forms in the sky. See, we never even got to anything about picking out forms in the sky. Lose a catch. Matchstick puzzles. We didn't see any matchstick puzzles. Secret scene 1. Watch the credits to the end. Watch all secret scenes. So yeah, there's more. So maybe my feeling that, like, hey, feels like there's more to it that we didn't see. Perhaps that is true, and we have to unlock some of those, or the secret scenes or the endings, because it did feel a little abrupt. Which, again, I remember it being true about Mothmen as well, so that could be on me. These stories definitely never go the way I think they will. I really enjoy this. I like these. I like their visual style. I like their sense of humor. I like the fun little things they do to make it engaging and different and not just text. I do enjoy these. There is one more. Yeah, this one. Banson Knights. There's one more in this Pixel Pulp series that, again, I think Lou is in. He's kind of the through line between all of them, and maybe the goat child as well now. I will definitely get around to this eventually, this third one, because I like these a lot. Behold! And I don't know when, but I'll try not to wait as long as I did between Mothmen and this one, which was like almost a full year, I think. Maybe more than that. I'll try to maybe get to this before the end of the year at some point, because I really like this. I know they also have one in development right now that's supposed to be a slasher story. I don't know if Lou's in it or if it's attached to these, but they are working on another one of these right now. I think they were also working on like a deck building game too. I don't know, this developer's interesting. They have pretty cool and creative ideas. And each one of these stories feels pretty distinct. And as you can see, this one's got like... Yeah, there's Mothmen. This one's got like some sort of like 80s car cult or something in it, if I remember correctly. Bit of the old chum bucket, potentially. But this is really fun. I like this. I hope it's interesting / entertaining enough to hear me read for nearly 3 hours and do a city vampire voice. I like these a lot. They're fun. They're short. I do enjoy these. You have fun with them and they're memorable. They're very unique and creative. They never go exactly like... I saw this image, right? And I was like, okay, kids being like haunted, pursued by a vampire in their town. They're going to have to like figure out how to kill it kind of thing. And no, it was not at all that. Still a bit of a coming of age story. The 2 timelines, and the vampire was really never a antagonistic force until maybe like the very, very end. Very different. I like these. They're pretty charming. I'll definitely play the next one at some point. But that's it for Varney Lake. And that's it for the stream. I remember Grandma being possessed by Granderpaw. Yeah, there's something about that. Something about like building a experimental like Civil War weapon, I think, and this grandma being possessed by his like great great grandpa, and then there were the Mothmen. There were Men in Black. There was actually like a sequence where I had to like shoot at the Mothmen, I remember. I don't remember exactly how the goat baby came about, but I just remembered that the story abruptly ended on a goat baby existing. And I would never have guessed that thread would have carried into this. I hope it carries into the next one. Alright, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you as always to the legendary Dilly Tots keeping me company on an otherwise quiet night. And what felt like a string of quiet nights. So I do appreciate you so deeply and very much. Looking forward to watching more Scald from you tomorrow night. As you can tell, I don't mind a little retro game. I love ya. I'll be back on Thursday for Fortnite. It's a Fortnite stream. And I will miss the Fortnite legend Dilly Tots on that one, unfortunately. But I do look forward to playing with Matt, Connor, and Colin, my original Fortnite squad. It's been nearly a year since the four of us all played on... it's not quite, but almost been a year since the four of us all played Fortnite together on stream. So that'll be a nice throwback. I think Colin hates this season. Personally, I've started to fall in love with the season. I think it's a lot of fun. But I think it's also a bit of a clusterfuck when playing with other people. In my brief experience, I played with Matt and Featured the other day, a couple of games. And we did, of course, get that juicy dub. But it was a lot more chaotic than I'm used to playing solo. Because it's like, when you play Fortnite, usually you're all four doing your own thing as a team. But, like, when you're all piled in the same car and all, like, shouting out different things you should be doing and all, like, shooting and switching seats and all that, it's a clusterfuck. But I do like the season. I think it'll be a lot of fun on Thursday. We'll get a nice caravan going. A little bit of a baby metal war rig, if I don't mind. Alright, I'm going to bed. It's 1 in the morning. I'll be tired as fuck in the morning. But that's fine. It was worth it because this was very enjoyable. I look forward to the next one. See you on Thursday. I'll see you, Dilly, tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Good night. Sweet dreams. Nighty night.